Hello YouTube, my name is Nero and today we have some more Hearthstone and we're doing a little bit of an experiment for today's video. So there's no actual gameplay in this video, but rather numbers and information that I've gathered over the past 2 seasons while playing Hearthstone. See, the point of this little experiment that I wanted to do was I wanted to exactly see how many times I faced each and every class. I wanted to see what the most popular classes are. You see wild remarks all the time saying, oh, like 50% of the matches of all time are just hunters. Everyone is a hunter. Hunters are everywhere. Or before that, like, oh, every other match is a warlock. Warlocks are everywhere. I wanted to actually see exactly how many times I've faced every single one of these classes, and to a less relevant extent, I also wanted to see what my record was against these classes. But I quickly found that was going to be irrelevant because I started off, right, and I blitzed my way up to rank 13. You start off like rank 20 or so. I blitz up to rank 13, and then once I get there, I start trading matches. You know, I win a match, lose a match. Win 2 matches, lose 3 matches. You know, it's just kind of how it goes. I can never actually get past rank 13, so a lot of my records against most of the classes are just kind of even for the most part, except for some that are just awful. So we'll be seeing that. Let's look at here. Let's look at the seasons, and let's look exactly how things have gone for me over the past 2 seasons. So here we are in Season 5, which was August of 2014. If you guys do not know, this is how seasons work. Basically, seasons are broken down by the months, and if you actually make it up into rank 20 for each season, at the end of the season, you actually unlock a brand new card back. For example, for Season 6 here, which is September, which ends tomorrow, I believe, then you will unlock this awesome pirate card back, which is pretty nice. But back to the numbers here. This is what I got for Season 5. This was all throughout August. I recorded 40 matches, and it should also be noted that I only recorded the matches I was using my control warrior. I didn't keep track of anything unless I was using my control warrior because I really wanted to get like an accurate representation of my win-loss record against certain things using the deck that I use the most. So if I were to hop in and do, you know, some matches with a shaman or something like that, just to kind of test out, you know, the shaman, or maybe if I wanted to hop on and try and complete a quest for the shaman or something like that, I didn't keep track of those games. So keep in mind, all these games are kept track with the control warrior deck. As you can see, Warlocks kind of ran wild during Season 5. Throughout the 40 matches I played, I went 19 wins and 21 losses. I ended up facing 8 Warlocks, 6 Druid, 6 Warrior, 6 Hunter, 5 Shaman, 4 Paladin, 2 Priest, 2 Mage, and only 1 Rogue. It's pretty interesting because as soon as Curse of Nax came out and Lotheb, people unlocked Lotheb, like overnight, the Miracle Rogue class just died. Nobody uses it anymore. I faced 1 Rogue throughout 40 games in August. Just never see them. You never see rogues anymore. You see Warlocks, I ended up facing a lot of Zoo. Zoo was definitely a lot more popular, I think, back then, back in August, and I ended up going 6-2 against them. You look at the Druids here, 3-3, Warrior, like in mirror matchups, because most Warriors you're going to face are Control Warriors, like the one I use. Went 2-4 against them. Hunters and Shamans just dominated me, whereas Priests and Mage, I had really no problem taking down either Priest or Mage, actually going undefeated against the, the 2 Priests and the 2 Mages I ended up playing. Now let's go ahead and look at Season 6, which is the current season that we're in right now, which actually ends tomorrow at the time of this video going up, which is September of 2014. I ended up playing 60 matches throughout Season 6, and I went a record of 32 wins and 28 losses against those people. But like I said, the win-loss ratio is really kind of irrelevant because once you get up to like your maximum rank, let's say like you're a rank 5 player, you know, once you get there, you're just going to start trading games back and forth. Eventually, your record against certain classes is just going to be kind of even for the most part. But I did play 60 matches, and the reason I played 60 was because I wanted to have 100 total matches to use in this video. I played through 40 matches in Season 5. Well, here in Season 6, I wanted to make sure that I played 60 matches. Therefore, in total, over the past 2 seasons, I've played 100 ranked matches, and I recorded my stats from that. During Season 6, I ended up facing 11 Hunters. Hunters are definitely pretty prevalent. 11 Priests, believe it or not, which is way up because there's barely any Priests from Season 5. But here in Season 6, it's like, okay, we go from 2 Priests last season to 11 Priests this season. We got 10 Warlocks, still a very popular class. We have 7 Paladins, 6 Warriors, 5 Shaman, 4 Mage, 4 Druid, and only 2 Rogue. Which Rogue, once again, Rogue and Mage is very, very just not popular. They're really is not popular at all. But you look here at the fact that we have 11 Hunters, and we've got 10 Warlocks. That's quite a lot of aggro style decks. You see 7 Paladins there as well, and a couple of those Paladins were aggro Paladin decks, you know. It's just, there a lot of people are going with aggro style decks. They really are. Season 6, a lot of people are starting to rush a lot more, whereas kind of like a slow, controlled style of meta has really kind of gone away for me. Now let's take Seasons 5 and 6 and combine them and see exactly how many times over the past 2 months I've actually played against these different kinds of classes. So what's kind of nice is I made sure I did 100 matches, which I went 51 wins and 49 losses in those 100 matches. I went so I have 100 matches. So if you look at the number of times I played each specific class, each one of them is representative of the percentage that class has. Like, for example, you looked all the way down there at the fact that I faced 3 rogues. Out of the 100 matches I played, I only played 3 rogues. That says that only 3% of the people out there are using a rogue deck right now. Only 3% of them, only 6% of them are using mage. You look at the fact that rogue and mage combined to 9% of the matches I played, that is less than any... Rogue and mage combined is less than any of the other heroes combined. Yeah, it's less than the shaman, less than the druid, and the paladin and warrior, all of them just completely underused. You look at the warlock and the hunter, the 2 most popular classes that I've faced over the past 2 seasons. They combine to about 35% of the matches I played are either warlock or hunter. And you look at traditionally how warlocks and hunters are played, it is basically a aggro style deck. As of in season 6, a lot of people are starting to use more handlock, where it's not your standard zoo rush them down, but rather it's big minions, giants, not putting out a bunch of low minion cost creatures. And a lot of people play that in the warlock deck. So it's either handlock or zoo with the warlocks. So it's really kind of 50-50 on whether or not you're going to face a zoo or not anymore. But hunter is always just, buff up your beast, rush you down. You got the warrior, that's always a control warrior. And you look at the records I actually got against these classes, most of them are just more or less even, with the exception of mage. I completely shat on mage with control warrior deck. But maybe that's one of the reasons no one uses the mage, because... it just does not work well against control warrior. But you look at the fact that only 12% of the matches are actually against warrior and 35% of the matches are against warlock and hunter. You would think more people might actually start using mage, because mage is actually a pretty good counter to a lot of different hunter decks. Mage just shits on hunter decks. They really do. They have so much AoE, so much board clearing. The hunter, the whole point is to get a bunch of beasts out there, rush it down, and the same thing goes for zoo. Well, mage is just one freaking flame strike away from demolishing your entire board and just wiping you completely, right? So the mage is very good against those. You would think that there would be more of a resurgence in mage with the amount of people running warlock and hunter, but there really hasn't been. Rogues, like I said, over the past 2 months, I faced 3 rogues. In 100 matches, I faced 3 rogues. Just not a popular class at all. It's interesting. I thought it was interesting. That's why I did this little experiment and kept track of all the matches I played with my control warrior and saw how I did. See, as you guys can see the records though, 9-9 against warlocks. I ended up just started getting dominated by both zoo and handlock during season 6, and I'm not really sure why. I'm sure it's a change I made in my deck, but I'm not sure exactly what it was, because I dominated them in season 5, but in season 6, warlocks just really started having their way with me. You look at the hunter, 7-10 against them, 8-5 against priest, 6-6 against warrior, 6-5 against paladin, 5-5 against druid, 4-6 against shaman, 5-1 against mage, and 1-2 against rogue. You see, overall, like I said, it's basically win one, lose one, win one, lose one. That's how the records go. I still like to keep track of the records, because sometimes you get little abnormalities. Like, you look at the fact that I'm +3 against priest, and that's in 13 games. It's like, sometimes they're usually close, but more often than not, I actually come out on top against priest. Or you look at mages, I've only lost 1 mage, and that mage, by the way, got the best curve I've ever seen. Like, there's literally nothing I could do. Like, she had an amazing curve, and I had no curve. Like, all my cards, I was drawing nothing but the legendaries in my deck that I couldn't use until turn 8, and I'm drawing these all in turns 1, 2, and 3. She's just rushing me down. And I'm like, good God, I can't do anything. So that was my one. I would almost say it was a flute game against the mage. So I'm 5-1 against them. I just think it's interesting. There's a little suggestion for you guys that you guys may want to do. All I really do is I open up a notepad here on my PC, and then if I start off the season or whatever, I'm like, okay, well, I just faced 1 warlock and I won. So 1 times 1 warlock and 1-0. And then let's say you play another match and it's also against a warlock, but you lose. And it's like, okay, well, now I faced times 2 warlocks, and now I'm 1-1 against them. Do that, then you can kind of keep track of exactly how many times you face certain classes, how popular those classes are. Of course, it's going to vary depending on how good of a player you are. Now, for example, if you can't make it past rank 17, this is going to be completely different. Maybe you're going to face a complete different set of heroes, which is pretty interesting. If you were a lot better player than me and you made it up to rank 5, the players that you face at rank 5, like the number of heroes that you face, maybe that's a lot different. Maybe you face a lot more priests at that rank. Maybe you face a lot more hunters at that rank. Maybe you face no rogues whatsoever at that rank, Maybe you face, a lot more shamans at that rank compared to what I play at rank 13. It's all different. It's all relative to your own skill level, but I would say that I'm mostly an average average Hearthstone player. I have a lot of cards and I do play quite a bit, but I'm not super amazing at it. You know, I'd say I'm average to maybe slightly above average. I made it up to rank 13. That's slightly above average, I would say. So the numbers you're seeing here throughout this video, I would say are pretty indicative of what you're going to see if you're just an average Hearthstone player. If you play anywhere between, you know, rank 20 and rank 13, this is probably roughly what you're going to see. So, I thought it was an interesting video. It's something I've been working on over the past 2 months, and I figured I would put it all together and share my results here in this video for you guys. So, hopefully you guys all did enjoy that, and let me know in the comments, what's you guys' most played class? Like, what do you guys play? Like, for me, it's the Control Warrior. I just love the Control Warrior. I use it a bunch, and it's just my favorite. It's my favorite class. I just like the Warrior class in general. I just really do. So, that's my class. That's my record against all the different classes, and those are the number of classes that other people are using while playing Hearthstone. So I just thought it was a cool video. Let me know in the comments what your guys' favorite hero is. Let me know about that. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.